I read through it, I go through it, I understand. Then I click on I've checked it out. You see, this was not marked complete up until now, but as I did it, it was marked complete. Now, same will happen to this. I've checked it out and go on. You see, earlier it was 0% complete, and now I have these two tick marks and 6% complete. So, this is a process unless you see 100% completion there. So 100% completion for each module, and then finally you see a big 100% written over here. That marks the completion. So again, now I hope you are well aware of the platform IBM Skills Belt, and now you know the process of how to get the correct sponsoring organization and how to complete your courses. Now let's get on to data analysis and some business intelligence, what we are here for. We'll start with some basic introduction and some basic theory. So let's get back here. All right. Now let's start with understanding data analysis. So data analysis in its most basic form, in its most basic understanding or definition, it just means a systematic process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data. Now, these might sound like heavy words, but these are very simple. The main goal is just to get to know what the data is trying to tell us, or if there is something that we can predict, if there are any insights that we can find. And why is all that important? Because it helps us make better decisions. It helps us uncover patterns that might not be otherwise visible in raw data. Raw data, any basic example of any raw data can be a huge data set that has thousands of rows of, let's say, any Excel sheet. It has thousands of rows and columns, and you just do not understand a lot of repetitive stuff and a lot of similar stuff as well. But if you know the right techniques and the right tools to analyze that data, it proves highly beneficial. All right. And as a result, it empowers smarter and faster and more effective decision making. And it applies in lots of fields. So, because my computer screen is only this small, I can only put in a few of the things. But in modern world, and today, data is almost everywhere. And wherever data is, you can find a way to analyze it in a manner that turns it profitable and turns that raw data into a much more meaningful information. Why it matters? Because first and foremost, where you guys gonna end up working on data, analyzing data, be it for maybe for government or for corporate firms or maybe for non-governmental organization. The impact that it creates, the decision that you're gonna make, will be rooted in something substantial. You will not be making decisions based on just a hunch or just maybe a guess, or maybe that this is something you feel like. When the decisions are made that are rooted in strong data, that is where the decisions have much more impact and much more meaning. All right. And eventually it helps is in identifying what the trends are, forecasting what might happen in the future, and even operational efficiency. Now, as I previously said, my computer screen is only this small. I cannot put the entire world over here, but I only put three just to give you an idea that what are the various application of data analysis. I have chosen to put these three particular fields here: retail, healthcare, and social media, because these are not necessarily the places people go first or something that comes to their mind as the first thing where data might be helpful. Data analysis might be helpful, but even when you take an example of retail, it optimizes sales strategies and streamline inventory management. So in any business, managing an inventory is quite important as it reduces waste and makes it highly profitable for the business owner as well as the employees. In healthcare nowadays, technology and data helps you make better decisions, because the manual decisions that were being done previously, just to give an example, even the greatest of doctors or surgeons in the world might have gone through 1,000 or maybe even, let's go extreme, in the most extreme of cases, a good doctor or surgeon in their career time must have gone through 10,000 cases. But with the help of right data analysis, we can analyze millions or even tens of millions of cases. And eventually, with just on the statistical benefit, we are able to make better decisions. You might have also heard that computers are being used to recognize cancer, because with the help of past data of what possible cell will or may turn cancerous, or a tumor may turn cancerous. I'm sure you are aware not all tumors are harmful, some are not. But when they are formed, it is very hard to actually make predict whether it will go on to become a harmful tumor. But with the help of data and with the help of technology, we are able to do so. And same goes for social media. This is something you all must be extremely aware of. The continuous content that you are being recommended, be it on Netflix or YouTube, or even on shopping websites such as Amazon or Flipkart. You make one Google search and suddenly you see ads popping up everywhere for things that you like. Just one keyword is more than enough, and that one keyword coming from millions of customers all around the world serves as a great data source to sell your product or sell your content. Now, of course, data wherever data exists, analyzing the data and making use of it also exists. So whatever field you can currently think of, that is, and that field requires a great data analyst to make it even good. All right. Now, in the middle of this complex theory, data analytics theory, why I suddenly have a photo of my favorite footballer over here? That is because sports is also something where data analysis has starting to prove extremely beneficial. So I have the photo of Lionel Messi here because I want to give you an example from the world of football. So starting over here. So I have this random data source. I have taken a small screenshot from it. Let's say I have a football team. Let's consider it. I am from Bangalore. Let's consider this is a local football team from Bangalore that I am part of as an analyst. And I have been given a large data set through for a data set for the entire season of all their games that they have played through in the entire season. And this data set contains over 10,000 values. Now, if you just go through the first particular row, you will see a player named Varun. He was on position 9-5 on the y-axis, 2-1 on the x-axis, and he scored a header, and eventually it turned out to be a goal. Same goes with Karan on these particular coordinates, used his left foot to take the shot, but it was off target, did not go on goal. Same as we go on the last, Harsh, these coordinates, you header, it was on target, but did not go on the goal, it was saved. Now you see, imagine tens of thousands of rows of this kind of data, which is just doesn't prove beneficial to for anybody who's seeing it. Maybe as a smart mathematician or an analyst, maybe you are one of those genius minds who can immediately understand that. Although I am not, I would accept. But if we just use this very basic principle, this is not even complicated. Just put these particular points on this map called a scatter plot, then this is what it will look like. You see, I haven't even added any graphics, maybe added a great football field, making it green or name of the players. I've simply taken the two columns where there were coordinates and I put it on a scatter plot. And you see, now imagine being an analyst for a team. Take any of your favorite football team. Imagine going to the coach or the players, showing them, you either show them this particular table, and this is not just it, but rather an entire Excel spreadsheet, or you show them this, just a small screenshot, and this will prove to be 1,000 times more easy to understand and beneficial for the players, for the coaches, as well as other staff who are part of the management. Now, this was basic scatter plot that we just plotted, took two columns, plotted them. Now, let's say we want to know more. Then let's say we only want those particular shots that were converted into goal. We do not care about things that went off target or were on target but weren't goals. We'll simply filter the data. Another basic, very basic filtering of filtering technique of data analysis, choose only goals, and this is what we get. Now, see, this data can be used either as the home team, where you tell your own players that these are your strong points, this is where you score from. So, practice more from these points, or maybe when you reach these particular points on the field, try taking a shots. The chances of going in is much higher. You might score. Now, let's take one more thing. Now we had these several points on the sheet where the goals were scored. But let's say we wanted to find the one strongest spot where the team is strongest, where the chances of goal being scored is the highest. That particular point, we had to again use a very simple mathematical or analytical formula called average. We'll find an average of all our points and simply again plot it on the graph. Now, for this point as well, as an analyst, as the coach, as the manager, you can advise your players, advise your mates to tell them that this is your strong point and this is where you take a shot. Or even if, let's say, you're not the analyst for this particular team, but for the opposition team, you can guide your team into saying that this is the opposition person's strongest point. So your defense should be the strongest on this point, so that their chances of scoring goes down as much as they can, or maybe even zero. So this works both for both as offensively and defensively. Now again, why I'm showing you this, imagine a long spreadsheet with tens of thousands of rows, and just the simple visualization. Now we can do the same if we just put in off target shots and tell them these are your weaknesses, practice more from here. All right, now going more and more into how deep we can go into analysis. So what I have done here, I, rather than going to the entire team, let's say I wanted to personally reach out to one player, or the player reached out to me, and the player wants to know about their own statistics, how it can prove helpful for them, how they can work. So I chose just this one player, Vikram, and only method of scoring was right foot. No other, no header, no left foot, no chest, nothing. Only right foot. And the outcome was goal. So I have taken away off target, on target. Now Vikram in his previous season took shots from this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9 points, and he's particularly from his right foot and score the goal. So here Vikram can be told that these are your strong areas when you are on the right foot. So if when on the field, if you are on this particular spot and the ball is on your right foot, then try taking a shot, because the chances of the ball going into the goal is higher, because that is what the data tells us. And the example continues. You can apply as many analytical techniques, as many filters as you want, and this goes. All right. Now, I hope that example was interesting for you guys. Now, let's move on to a little bit of theory as well. So, starting with very basic types of data. Data is basically of two types. They are qualitative and quantitative. So, as the name suggests, qualitative is more descriptive data, more alphabet based, more, words based, not a lot of mathematical calculations involved or mathematical functions involved. And same, the opposite, quantitative data is something that is measurable, is numerical data, and mathematical or statistical functions or formulas can be used here. So we'll look more into it, starting with quantitative data. So the basic definition we have already known. These are numbers, measurable quantities. A good example can be the test scores of everybody in your class or everybody in your college if you go on a bigger scale. Then let's say you have a shop of your own or a website of your own, then the list of product and all their prices. You will see the list of products here is qualitative, but the prices of all of them is quantitative. Then the number of social media followers, then the temperatures on various days or various months or weeks, the average. Then within quantitative data type, there are two types, discrete or continuous. So continuous data is something that can be put into categories. If you take the example of your test scores as well that you've done in your class, then let's say if you put them into category, put students into categories, that there are six who scored between 90 to 100, then 12 scored between 80 to 90, then maybe seven scored between 70 to 80. The when the data is in range, this is continuous data, and when it is not, when there are independent values, that data is called discrete data. All right, moving on to qualitative data. Although I'm sure you might have already understood by now, it is descriptive data. It describes qualities and characteristics. It could be anything, a list of colors, red, blue, green, uh, genders, then product review rating. Although there are different ways, we can the review can either be in stars or maybe out of 10, or it could be a written review where the customer is trying to tell what's good about the product or maybe what's the problem with the product. Then qualitative data is also of two types, nominal and ordinal. So this serves as a very good example in the product review system. When the in the product review system, the nominal data is just random comments that were thrown here and there, that is nominal. And ordinal data is when we, let's say, we put up a question to the customers that how was your experience using this particular thing, and you give it five options, and those five options could be that bad, let's start with very bad, bad, okay, good, very good. You see, although the data is qualitative, it is not numerical, it is still descriptive data, but despite that, it has certain order, it has certain quality of quantitative to it, but it is not quantitative, it has certain quality of that. So that is ordinal. That's the difference between nominal and ordinal. All right, so before we move on, I just want to check all of you how much attention you guys are paying and how much you have learned till now. So I have a small activity for all of you guys. I want to see if you guys know, you guys can differentiate between qualitative and quantitative data. You can utilize the chat to answer. So let's start with this. I have this list of movie genres. They are action, comedy, drama, horror, romance, and so on. So give me your answers. What do you guys think? Whether this data is qualitative or quantitative? So I will go through the chat now. Faisal says qualitative. All right. Harshita also says qualitative. Oh, damn, I have received a lot of messages. Oh, Raghav says quantitative. Raghav, any particular explanation? Why do you think this is quantitative? Qualitative, Suraj also, Sneha. All right. Sneha also says so. So, yes, most of you are saying that this is qualitative. So, yes, you are. Of course, this data is descriptive. This does not contain a lot of numerical values or even such values where that can be measured or where we can use mathematical formulas or functions. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the second one. All right, so number of steps taken. Let's say maybe you guys work out, or maybe don't. You just have a smartwatch or a smartphone that records the number of steps taken you have taken on each day. Let's say 10,000 on Monday, 2,000 on Tuesday, 5,000, and so on. So, what is your idea about this? Again, Faisal says quantitative. All right. Harshit says quantitative. Vaishnavi Gupta also says quantitative. What about Nikunj? Same quantitative. Tenas quantitative. That is correct. Quantitative. Yes. So yes, again, most of you are correct. I hardly see anyone saying qualitative. So this is quantitative data. Of course, quite easy to understand. This is numerical data. Moving on. All right. So list of languages spoken around the world. Japanese, Spanish, Bengali, English, Arabic. What about this? Oh, Shaunak has gone one step ahead. Good work, Shaunak. So now Shaunak has not just said that this is qualitative data, but also he said that this is nominal. So that is quite nice. Rubel says qualitative. Webhub also says qualitative. Varsha says qual. All right, let's move on. User. Somebody says user says qualitative. Maybe give yourself a better name. Maybe change your name so we can recognize you. All right, moving on. So this is obviously quantitative, but good job, Shaunak. You also recognize that this is nominal data. All right, moving on. So I hope this was a good fun activity for you. Moving on again to some theory, starting with data sources. So data sources can either be primary or secondary. So these are not very hard to understand, something very simple. In the most basic definition, if the data is collected directly by you, then the data is primary. If you're taken it from some other source, then it is secondary. So just to explain it to you guys, the basic example of this thing would be, let's say a group of you come together and you start a research, a detailed research on how climate change or how change of weather, continuous floods, and sometime droughts has created a problem. You select a state, let's say Uttarakhand. You select the state of Uttarakhand, you go to the city of Dehradun. Now you want some data, some qualitative, some quantitative. You go there, you talk to people, or you get the readings of water levels, get the readings of temperature change over the in the period of a single day and also on different days. There is various data you can collect. So within that data, the exact readings that you take, or the interviews that you do with people, or just your basic observation that this tree was this tall, then a month later it was either manually chopped down or it just fell due to force of nature. So all this data, you were there on the site yourself, you did it yourself, and everything. Maybe you decide to publish your research, or maybe you do not. Then that serves as a primary data. Then for secondary data, the same. Let's say you do the same research, but you do not decide to go on to all the way to Dehradun or other states, other districts or cities of the state of Uttarakhand. Then maybe you the data that already exists, maybe from research articles or some report that was published online, or some in the government reports that may be online or offline. Maybe you have access to some kind of data and you do your research from there. So if the data is collected by you and used by you, primary data. If the collected is data is collected by somebody else and reused, then that is secondary data. All right, I hope that was easy to understand. Now, data formats, also three basic data formats are there and quite easy to understand. As their name suggests, starting with, there is structured. So, very basic example of any basic, let's say Excel sheet. It has data organized in very well rows and columns. Then something that is easy to analyze, easy to understand, then it is not, then that is classified as structured data. And again, quite opposite to that, let's say the collection of all the images on your phone, or let's say on your Instagram post, all the comments that are there, there's no structure to it. Don't know what they are saying, or a collection of videos. Although the analysis for the unstructured data becomes quite complicated, but still it proves highly beneficial to analyze that. Of course, if you have the right tools and the right knowledge, the right techniques, you can analyze that as well. Then moving on to semi-structured, as the name suggests, a mix of structured and unstructured. A good example can be your email box. You'll see, yeah, the center of your email box is just this collection of all the important emails, all the rubbish that you have received, all the spam and everything collected in one. But on the left, you will also see a menu that contains some structure. You see this mix of structured and unstructured, it combines, and this is a good example of semi-structured data. All right. So these were our three main data formats. So moving on. So why data-driven decisions are important and why do we need it? So although this is something we have already briefly talked about, but the key benefits, of course, accuracy. You are no longer dependent on guesswork or just your hunch. Your the decisions that you make are 100% accurate. And of course, you can say it 100% accurate given that your data is 100% accurate. So eventually, in relation to what data you have, your decision will be 100% accurate given that you have a good data source. Your objectivity and predictability also goes very well, since if you are able, so in prediction of course it basically means what might happen in the future. So your objectivity and predictability increases given that you have a very accurate and very highly trustable data of the past. So just how any weather forecast is predicted, we know that in the past 100 years the average temperature in the month of December, although it changes according to places as well. I can talk for me. I am from Bangalore. Here, the average temperature in the daytime, maybe let's say 18, 19 degrees Celsius. But let's say we also know it has increased at a steady rate of maybe zero point 0.1 degrees per year. So it was 18 in maybe let's say 1925, then it went to 18.1, 18.2, and so on. If you have very reliable trustable data, predictability also is easy rather than sitting and guessing. "Ki, you know what, I feel like this might happen, this may not happen." Feelings and your just hunches, your guesswork is goes to the bin because we have highly trustable data sources. And accountability also increases because whenever something goes south, something goes wrong, because you have trustable data sources, your data is based in those data sources, you can be accountable and also improve the situation. And continuous improvement is also very is quite easy to understand as the data updates. A very good example of this would be ChatGPT. I'm sure you all of you have used ChatGPT and still use on a regular basis. You see, if you ask the older ChatGPT model, it might not be able to give you the correct answer, or not even correct answer, might not be aware because the model is older. It doesn't really have access to that data, but the recent models are able to. So see, if decision making based on data, as the data improves, then the decision making also improves. Now within data analysis, data science, there's also different types of data analysis, starting with descriptive. So descriptive analysis is very basic, as the word suggests. Descriptive comes from describing. So the main goal here is to summarize what has happened in the past. A very simple example would be you have a sales data and you just say that we made sales, we sold 10,000 products. The total revenue was maybe 1 lakh. Then the total profit was 20,000, and out of that this is the profit margin and all of that. Just basic summary. We are not trying to find any new things. We are just trying to summarize what already exists. That is descriptive analytics. Total sales, average revenue, and all that counts. Now, diagnostic analytics. Now, diagnosis might be a term you must have heard a lot in hospital or around any medical fields. So, although it is not always related to hospital or anything medical, but diagnostic comes from that. So, as any doctor is trying to understand why a sickness has occurred. So, understanding, in be it in the world of sales, be it in the world of technology, understanding why something has occurred. So that kind of analytics is diagnostic analytics. Basically, identifying the cause, finding the root cause, and why something has happened. That is diagnostic analytics. Then we have predictive analytics. I think this might be the easiest for you all to understand. We'll not be spending a lot of time. When we want to predict what might happen based on the past data that we had, that is predictive analytics. And the last is prescriptive analytics. Now, prescriptive is also what comes from prescription. You are trying to suggest, you are trying to make recommendations. So we have, through descriptive analytics, we saw what happened. Through diagnostic, we saw why it has happened. Through predictive, we saw what might happen. And through prescriptive, since we know what has happened, why it has happened, what will happen, through prescriptive, if it is all positive, then the prescription or the recommendation of the analyst would be that continue doing what you're doing because you're on a good path. But if we realize that what has happened and what why has happened and what will happen are all negative, then your prescription would be a change of plan. And of course, as the analysis goes much deeper into much more detail, then the prescription also goes into more detail and changes as per the need. All right. Now again, we have seen the four types of analytics. Now again, I have a brief activity for all of you, very similar to one that we have done. Last time you recognize the type of data, whether qualitative or quantitative. This time you have to recognize the type of data analysis. All right, let's go. So recommending the right, remember the keywords, recommending the right price for a product based on demand. So what kind of analysis do you think it is? Whether it is prescriptive, descriptive, predictive, or diagnostic? Okay, let me go through your answers. Okay, Snehal says prescriptive. Okay, let's go with more. Astha also says prescriptive. So good job, guys. You are all on the right track. So here, of course, the keyword is recommending. So when you're recommending something, making a suggestion, that is obviously prescriptive. So yes, you all are correct who are saying prescriptive data analytics. So let's move on to the second one. All right, forecasting the weather for next week. Again, you have to choose one of the four. Let me know what you guys think. A basic weather forecasting. What kind of data analytic this is? Karan Singh says predictive. Yes. Zed says descriptive. Okay, Zion says Zion Ahmed predictive analytics. So good job. Okay, Zayed now. Okay, my bad. Zayed, I read your older answer. But even for the older one, it was prescriptive. But no, good job right now. This is predictive. All right, all right. So yes, you all are again correct. This is predictive forecasting. Moving on. So identifying why sales decreased in a certain month. So remember the keyword here. Why is the keyword. We are trying to identify why something has happened. All right, now let's see what you guys think. What kind of analytic this is. Okay, I turned off my screen trying to read your chats. Okay. Vaishnavi says diagnostics. Good job, Vaishnavi. Harshit also says diagnostic. Nukun says diagnostic. Then Krisha Mistry also says diagnostic. So yes, you are all correct. This is diagnostic analytics. Moving on. All right. So what do you guys think of this? Summarizing the total number of units sold by a store. So what is your idea behind this? Wait, am I reading your older chat, Shaunak? You say this is predictive. It might be older. Okay, yes, Suraj is the first one, or maybe is the first chat that I read. Suraj says this is descriptive analytics, and Suraj would be correct. Okay, yes, it was my fault. I was reading all the chats. So, yes, most of you are saying this is descriptive, of course, because the keyword here is summarizing, and whenever we are summarizing, try to see what has happened. Then that is descriptive analytics. Then moving on to the last one. All right, this I believe might be a bit complicated, but this is the last one. Let's see how many of you can guess this. Estimating how many people will visit a website tomorrow. What are your guesses for this one? All right. Nakul says predict. Oh, you are correct, Nakul. So Nakul said predictive. Jose as well. Akshita says predictive. Kalyani says predictive. So yes, you all would be correct. Everybody is saying predictive. So right, all right, let's move on. So now a very interesting part. Although I'm sure when you guys went through the flow of the certification program, we are just I'm just giving a brief introduction to data visualization right now. We'll be discussing data visualization in detail in the next session, in the next masterclass. So here I'm just talking about the main definition and main elements of data visualization. So the goal of data visualization is to use infographic elements, basically something that is visually more appealing and more pleasing, rather than seeing thousands of rows of text-based data, written data. If we are able to convert this into something visually more easy to understand, more appealing, that is the main goal of data visualization. Eventually, reducing the complexity of your task, removing the complexity from the process of understanding and interpreting your data. And even through the process of visualization, we can uncover patterns or trends or outliers that are hidden very quickly. And data visualization also supports a much better and faster decision making. And eventually, it makes your data much more easy to access and much more engaging. Now, although we will discuss more in details the various elements, various infographic elements of data visualization, today I want to just give you a brief disclaimer that as we learn more about data analysis, more about data analytics, more about data visualization, I want you all guys to understand that more than having the ability to create the most beautiful looking or the most complex chart, it is way more important to know strategic chart selection. That is what chart to use where, or whether within your dashboard or within your website. Just put saying that I have more than 100 elements is not really beneficial, but how efficient, how easy to understand, how accessible it is. That's why these are just brief. These these examples can be endless, but considering, let's say, if you're categorical data, maybe a bar or pie chart can help. If you're continuous data, then maybe line charts or scatter plots can help. Then you just have, while analyzing or visualizing your data, you just have to define your message, identify your audience. Even the way you are presenting your data, presenting the information that you have, can even differ from who your customer base is. Somebody working in a fintech cannot have the same data visualization as somebody working in a restaurant. So try using comparisons for bar chart or column chart, or if you're showing trends, then use line charts or area charts. For distribution of data, box plots and histograms are highly beneficial. But of course, as you practice more and more, as you learn more and more, as you explore the world of analytics more and more, you will start making an understanding for yourself on what is the right thing to do. Now, before we move on to complex application, I have this brief video from this YouTube channel called Column 5. So all credit goes to them. But this is a great video that you guys can find really interesting. Let me just make sure that I've shared audio as well. Yes, it is shared. Solid. So please watch this video. It is a very short video. I really hope you will like it. Let's play it.
They say knowledge is power, but how do we make knowledge powerful? Especially when that knowledge comes in the form of data. Lots of data. How do we find the meaning? Tell the story. Share the story. Infographics, where data meets design. What makes good data visualization? Take a few seconds to count the sevens in this number set. How many were there? Not sure? Now try. A simple color change makes comprehension almost instant. Color is one of several pre-attentive attributes, like size, orientation, flicker. Visual clues that the human brain processes within 250 milliseconds. Now imagine that we're not looking for specific numbers, but patterns. We can use color to show correlation, size to show quantity, or orientation to show trends. And not just data. The power of design can be used to better communicate all sorts of information. Processes, hierarchy, anatomy, chronology. Better communication through innovation. Because your message is only as good as your ability to share it.
All right. I really hope you found that video interesting and maybe also learned a few things from it. Now let's move on to the technical or application part. Now I'll take you to my browser. So where is it? Here. Okay, so this was the screen that was already open. So I really hope I again looking at the IBM Skillsfield platform. I really hope there are no more queries regarding it. Sponsoring organization is extremely important. Now let's open my browser. All right, so now I am going to take you through this very interesting, one of my favorite platform for data visualization and data analysis called Tableau. I'm sure some of you must have heard of it, some of you may not have heard of it, but today I'll take you through the process of how you can get. So Tableau is generally paid software, but Tableau also has a free version called Tableau Public. Although it lacks some features, but it serves highly beneficial for students and educators. So I'll take you through that. So first of all, we have to make sure that all of us who are in this meeting, we all have Tableau. Although I already have it, but I'll take you through the process how you can get it. So very simply, I'll type here public.tableau.com. So this will take you to this particular page. I don't know how interesting you find it, but as we go, you will start finding it more and more interesting. So, but just to start with, so to download Tableau Public for yourself on this particular page, on the top left, you'll go on this create button and you'll choose the second option, download Tableau Desktop Public Edition. Over here, what you have to do, you have to fill all these details. Just so I do it for myself. And role, you guys will be choosing student and click on download the app. And you see, as usual, on the top right of your browser, any browser that you're on, the download will start just like here. See, this is actually quite a big file, 590 megabytes, but need not worry, you guys can do it in your own time. I'm just showing you the process. So let's cancel this since I already have it downloaded with me. I will cancel it from here. But this setup is already downloaded on my computer, and I'll take you over there. So here is the setup. So if I double click on this, so when installing a software is not a big issue or a big deal, not too complicated. What I should do, I should share the link with you guys through the chat. Let me go back to my browser. So I'll share the link for this. Go to download, and here this is, you can, where is the chat? Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, you have already put Tableau over there. Thank you. I don't have to. Thank you very much. Yes. All right. So let's go. So this is the basic setup. So see, since it is already installed from me, it is asking me to uninstall. So I won't be doing that. But you just have to click on install, and Tableau will be installed on your computer. So I'll cancel it right now. So closing my browser for now. I hope this is clear, but I won't close my browser at this moment. So here is my Tableau desktop application. All right, I will double click on it. Sorry, not Tableau desktop, Tableau public. Please do not download Tableau desktop, as it will ask you to pay a lot of money. And please make sure that you download Tableau public. Closing this. Now from here on, Tableau Public accepts a lot of files: Excel file, text file, JSON, Access, PDF, spatial statistic, and a lot more. You can also connect it to a server. You can create a website or dashboards live to a server. And on the right, you will see the Tableau Public community. And although we will not be going to the community page right now, but it is highly beneficial. We'll go through that again. Now what I'll do, just to give you an example, actually we should go to the Tableau community right now, so that we also get a sample data for ourselves. So what I will do, you can either go any, I do not want to click on any of these links, but you can get started, watch some tutorial videos, or read any blog, or explore various visualizations or various dashboards that people all around the world have made. They can prove highly inspirational to you on what you can make, and what you can learn from. So just to give, I'll just click on one link. Imagine this particular thing: explore today's whiz. So if I click on this particular link, so this has taken me to the same website that was opened earlier, but just a different page on that particular website. So Tableau has basically nominated Miss Anindita Mitra as the Viz of the day. Viz is short for visualization, as in data visualization. So the visualization for the day is made by Miss or Mrs. Anindita Mitra. Where is she from? From Illinois, United States. So she has made this interesting map where you see, on the face this might look like just a page of a book, because the but when you go closer or interact with it more, this you will realize this is not just a basic page or a basic painting. This is a complete dashboard, a very intricate, a very sophisticated dashboard. You see, I think this is Alaska. Oh yeah, this is the state of Alaska in the United States. You see, if I go on individual dots, you see it is location to every single place. And if I click on it, you see it has basically highlighted this particular place, and it has shown the details about that particular place. Now where you can see much more, if I simply go to the Tableau public homepage, and you see all of that. But we'll leave that for now. Exploring the Tableau public community is totally your job. I won't be doing it with you, as it can take a lot of time. But let's go open my browser. So what I want to show you is how you can get your own personal data sets, not personal data sets, how you can get public data sets even to practice more. So we have two main data sets. If I simply open my browser, what I even for you guys, if I just type sample data tableau public, you'll see. And if I click on sample data, again, it will bring me a lot of data sets to choose from, like sales data, or what is this, 5,000 annual list of growing companies, 5,000 faster growing companies, then employment changes in Great Britain, and so much more. That list is endless. And the process is very simple. Let's say I want the first sales data. I'll simply click on this and it will download that particular data set for me. Now, one another very interesting platform is, although that is not related to Tableau, but I want to introduce you guys to this, and that is Kaggle. So Kaggle, if you simply type Kaggle or even type Kaggle datasets, you will see over here. I will click on datasets, and again, very similar to Tableau. Here also you have endless supply of datasets to use. Let's download one from here as well. So when we open later that when we later open them, we can check it. Let's maybe even try to find something similar in sales. Okay, let's open Walmart sales data. And I will simply click on download over here. Download dataset as a zip file. Okay, it will ask me to sign in. Make sure that you guys already signed in. Okay, now I have to do the same thing. Download dataset as a zip file. So we have both the things. Now, first let's open the dataset that we downloaded from Tableau. We'll not be doing a lot in Excel, just to see what the dataset is like. It seems like my computer has gone very slow. So this is what we have, the Superstore sales data that we downloaded from Tableau. So these are things like order ID, order date, ship date, shipment mode, customer ID, customer name, segment, and so seems like this is data from United States. City and states are from there, and so on. The sub product category, subcategory, and all those things. All right, and then we have the orders that were returned. Then the people. Okay, I don't really understand what the people are. Maybe these are the people who are supposed to take care of these particular regions. Maybe these are the sales head for those regions. But all right, now let's have a look at the data that we got from Kaggle. Now we'll open archive. Okay, first let extract it, all of that. Downloads. I'll take this archive, right click, extract. Okay, now let's open this. I'm expecting a similar type of data over here as well. Oh, this is much smaller than that, but not an issue. So what does this have? The date of the order, holiday flag, temperature, fuel price, CPI, and all right. So this is not the kind of data I expected. I expected sales data to come, but this is more of employment data. So this is kind of, and sales data is kind of public data, not, although not for all companies. Some decide to make it public, some don't. But this is more of an internal employee data. But of course, I hope this was just for all of you guys to understand how you can get data sets to practice and explore more on Tableau Public as well as Kaggle. Now moving on to our Tableau Public desktop application. Now let's see how we can utilize all of that. So we'll go to Microsoft Excel. No, sorry, we don't have the Excel file. We have downloaded that as CSV. Go to text. So CSV you will see is a text, is the file type of it is text. I'll go to downloads. Okay, so it is Excel. My bad, I'm sorry, I didn't see it properly. Choose Microsoft Excel, download, and sample superstore is over here. We open this. So will take, since it is a large data set, it will take some time to load. This seems to take longer than usual. All right, it is loaded. So this is basically, this is not the data, the final sheet or the final page where you work on maybe making dashboards or making visualization on Tableau. This is the data preparation page for Tableau. So here what you can do. So if you remember the Excel sheet that we saw from over here. So the first thing, of course, that you can do, let's get rid of the Walmart sales for right now. We'll just look at Superstore sales. So there are two ways to basically prepare your data. Now, preparing your data is extremely, extremely important because a well-prepared data is that data which eventually is analyzed in a much more efficient manner. If you do not prepare your data well, it might not be very helpful. Now over here, let's say this is data for US, maybe just to present it to an Indian customer. Let's assume what we can change, or maybe we can just delete. You see profit over here, you see 41.99136. Where does it come from? 2612 discount 045 blah blah. I guess this is all good, but I just want to say, let's say there is some kind of column or a row that you want to delete. So just to give an example, although I do not assume there will be any duplicates, you see order ID, we see first two order IDs are the same. But if you go forward, second class 152, clear good consumer, Kentucky. But eventually the product that they bought was all different. So a very interesting method of checking for duplicates in your entire data sets. On Excel, we go to data. Okay, I haven't enabled editing. And you remove the duplicates, but we'll not be focusing on Excel right now. So let's close this. So just to check your data, there were three sheets: orders, people, and returns. We want to work with the first sheet, that is orders. I'll simply drag and drop it over here. And once I drag and drop it over here, you'll see the sheet will come. And just to give a better overall name to our Tableau sheet, rather than this, I will name it as Superstore Sales. A better looking name, although not necessary, but I prefer. See, it's not just that I prefer things to be in order. As you work on more and more data, the right naming conventions and naming everything in the right manner becomes extremely important, because that way your data does not get lost. Simply naming everything sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 does not prove beneficial. As following the right naming convention might, you might, as the creator of the file, you might be able to understand what that name means. But it is very important that you are a good team player when you work in a large team, whether in a corporate setting or even within your college setting. It is important that everybody understands. So naming convention is quite important. So see, on this particular page, you can simply check whether all your data is correct. You are not seeing all of it, but simply check the headings whether everything is correct. So why do we check it? Although we have seen the Excel sheet, just to make sure that everything that we basically imported from Excel, everything has come here, everything has properly come here. All right. So everything is there. I see everything is good. And another method of checking so is, you can go over here for individual sheets. If you simply click on this small little square over here, Okay, I did not want to fetch it. Let's, okay, you see that data as well. I will simply delete this for now. Remove. All right, now let's move on to our sheet. Now this is our final playground. This is where we play with our data, we work with our data, we analyze it, and finally move on to creating a larger dashboard or a larger website from over here. Now, although we will be working in detail on various visualization or various functions of Tableau in the next masterclass, but to start with, I will just show you how easy it is to work with Tableau, given that you just spend some time on understanding the various aspects that are present in Tableau. So let's say I want to make a bar chart that shows how much sales has been done for maybe every category of product, or maybe let's say city, a larger one. I'll simply take city, drag it to columns. At first it will give me this kind of text based data, but then what I'll do is simply take sales and just drag it over here. And you see, although quite big, so you see, no matter how big your data set is, no matter how much data points are, a simple drag and drop. I simply took city, put it into columns, simply took sales, put it into rows. And it has given me this particular bar chart that is so extremely detailed and complicated, but still making it easy with the use of Tableau. But what I can, and now simply, let's say you made a mistake of choosing city over here. I'll simply remove city here. Maybe you wanted to find out based on product category. You put it here, and there we go. For furniture, office, and technology, we have. Then again, you can choose the type. You can either get recommended. So there are two places where you can choose the type of basically the visualization or the graph or chart that you have made. You can either, so once or Tableau also has a lot of artificial intelligence embedded within it. So it automatically Tableau thinks that this is a bar chart, but you can choose what you want from here. Other than that, the artificial intelligence, you can also get artificial intelligence to make you recommendations. And how that works is you can choose from anything over here. So one thing that you will realize, I don't know if you can see it clearly in my screen, but please make sure you get Tableau for yourself and see it within your screen. Whatever Tableau does not recommend, whatever the AI here does not recommend, has been faded or has been blurred. Whatever it does recommend, it appears bright. I hope this is clear in my screen, but it will shortly be clear when you get Tableau for yourself. If I, let's say, simply click on bubble chart over here, so you see it has, although in this particular diagram you won't be able to see, but there is a slight difference within the sizes of these circles or the bubbles, as we say. And based on the size, we can see the biggest circle is technology. So we can just assume, not assume, technology has the highest sales, and furniture, and then office supplies. And you see some of them are off. That means Tableau does not, or the AI here does not recommend. So what I'll do, I'll simply undo this, Control Z. It will take me back to my bar graph. And again, you can see now how automatic feature also works is also highly beneficial. If I, let's say, get rid of this now, because this was it was categorical data, it was sales data. But let's say we just had time based data. We just take order date, put it over here in columns, and then I take maybe sales. No, all right, let's take sales, and I put it over here. You see, automatically, I did not tell Tableau anything. The AI automatically learned on its own that since this is time-based data, just to make it more, I will fit it to the entire view, and it automatically recognize since the data is time-based, and that is why line chart is something that should be used. And it shows us sales made for every year from 14, 15, 16, and 17, you can see go interact with the data points. So that is one great quality of Tableau. Along with that, we have advanced analytics tools as well that we'll soon learn about them in the upcoming class. So I really hope that was beneficial. So in the meantime, if you got one last thing, okay, I forgot about this. So some of you might even face this issue that maybe the Tableau application that you download, similar to what I downloaded, is not compatible with your uh, laptop or with your mobile device or whatever device you are on. It is not compatible. So for that, also we have a great solution. What we'll do on the same Tableau public homepage that we earlier went to. So I hope you guys remember this page. I'll close everything else for now. And you remember this page, the first page we did. And over here, we went to create and we chose the Tableau desktop public edition. If your mobile device or a laptop or a desktop is not compatible with this, you can just simply click on web authoring, and web authoring will take you first. Of course, it will ask you to log in. I will log in over here, and after logging in, okay, so password is wrong. I hope this is correct. Yes. So after logging in to web authoring, remember in the create tab, there will be two options, download and web authoring. So see, I hope now you look at this screen and you look at this screen. They are one and the same. So even if you don't have a device that is compatible to, or even the storage, it is quite a big software. It is almost a 3 GB software. If you do not have that, if you are not able to get it for your desktop or for your Windows or a Mac device, you can simply choose web authoring and you can do the same thing. You follow the same process. You go to data, click on new data source, then upload from the computer. We'll choose the same superstore, my bad, data, open it over here, although it might take some time. That is also a big file. And you'll see the process is exactly same. Order, people, returns, everything is the same. Again, we'll drag orders over here. Then everything we know already. Go to sheet 1. Okay, it will take some time to load. Now, just the same thing. Although I'm repeating it. Category and sales, and automatically gives us the same kind of bar chart. So everything remains the same, nothing changes. All right, now let's go back over here. So that was it. I really hope you have understood about the Skillsville platform as well as the Tableau. You have got your application either by downloading the desktop setup or by going on web authoring. All right. So if you have any queries for all this, please let me know. I'll go through some of your messages now. Okay, Kalyani says, could you please repeat? Kalyani, can you please be specific what I should repeat? Lakshmi, if there is anything, maybe my video broke. If there is something I missed, please let me know. I'll go through messages until then, and you can keep putting them. All right, I guess I don't see a lot. So I will hand over this meeting back to Mr. Anil. So Anil, you can take over from here. So students, please make sure whatever we have discussed, the basics of data analytics, then getting Tableau, how to get data sources, then after that, making sure getting the right sponsoring organization, completing your learning plan on the Skills Build platform, IBM Skills Build platform is extremely important, and with the correct sponsoring organization. I really hope you have understood everything. If anything, you can, Mr. Renil will share query form with you as well. You can put in your queries over there, or even put it in the chat right now. Of course, Mr. Renil will also share the attendance form with all of you. Please make sure you mark your attendance. It helps us keep track of you. All right. So thank you very much, and over to you, Anil.
So much, Karthik. Thank you for so much for such a wonderful session. And my dear students, I hope all of you have enjoyed this session. Now, let me make some important announcement. I think the session was such a nice session, and you have learned the basic things about the data types, data sources, install Tableau, and how to can the using Tableau and everything. So, my dear friends, now I would like to make some important announcement. Before some of you asking about sponsoring organizations again. So please make sure Mr. Karthik also in your organization. Guys, please go to your profile and you can see there your sponsoring organization must be ACA CSR box. If it is Skills Build or any other organization name, you please try to do the registration from a new mail or create a new profile for that purpose. Okay, else as and until it won't be reflecting in our platform, so we won't be able to count it. Like that will not be able to show your certificate and kind of things. Okay, so please, your sponsor organization is CSR box, and let me go through the some of the important steps. I think you were asking about do you were not able to see the completion certificates here. So let me just share my screen. So this is a home page of your assignment or your registration link. So once you log into this platform, you can see here, the first one is correctly account information. So once you click on correctly account information, just click on the correctly account. Now here you need to go to the correctly. Okay, so this is the new page. So once you create the account in the correctly, once you create your own account with the same email ID as you create for Skills Build, then you must come here in the page you can see here under actions. Sorry, once you can go to activity, then you come back to the same page. You have to mark it as complete. Okay, please not. Once you go to click on go to activity and I show you on go to activity, then you come back to the same page. You will see here as a S mark complete. Then click on S mark complete and submit. Okay, then you can see. Wait for a minute. So when you click on go to activity, actually it goes to the skills build page only. So you don't need to do anything over here. You have to scroll down and click on correctly page. Okay. Then here you need to create a new account on the Clay platform. So once you complete that activity, come here. Like I said, go to activity. When you click on go to activity and come back to the same page, it shows the complete. I'm sorry, there is some issues with the platform, unable to display your completion status at this time. But this is how you have to mark. Let me try with another one. Into plan.
All right, everyone. It seems we have lost connection with Mr. Anil. Maybe his bandwidth is low. So need not to say. I hope all your questions are answered. And one more thing, many people have asked this in the chat. So yes, recording of both orientation session as well as all the this masterclass session as well as the upcoming masterclasses, everything is available via your WhatsApp group. A resource document will be shared with you all, and you will be you will be able to go through everything that is the even the presentations that we have used, even those presentations, all the content, all the important links, everything is available in your resource document. So please need not worry. We have come to the end of this session. So I will request my team to share the attendance link with all of you in the chat. And I really hope the session today was beneficial for all of you. All right. And make sure you follow the process to get the right sponsoring organization. And the correct sponsoring organization is ACA CSR Box. And thank you very much. I'll see you on Monday for the second masterclass. Please make sure you mark your attendance before you leave.